I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Casterbarus. I'm 903 years old, and I'm the man who's going to save your lives and all 6 billion people on the planet below. You got a problem with that? In that case, hello, Z?
This casing, we can evolve, we can start anew, we can become stronger than ever.
We will become the supreme race in the universe!
Observe,
The Daleks are good.
a bonded polycarbide shell, a ruby ray blaster, and a multi-dexterous claw capable of annihilating
Vanetta's face.
my ultimate masterpiece of design.
Yes, I did some research on the name, sir. Since we're called Khaleds, I thought our future selves could be an anagram of Khaled. Like Lekad.
No.
Adlek.
No.
Clade.
No.
Edleka.
No.
Davros, I need your confirmation to begin the next bombardment, sir.
One moment, and touch nothing. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Edlek.
Hello.
He was a great doctor.
Passing by, because I got a bit lost. It's funny. 60 minutes ago, I was this really brilliant woman. And now I've got this old face back again. I mean, why? Why? I ask of you, my brand new friend. Why? Sure, a bit of a puzzle. Oh. I'm sorry.
No.
I am so sorry. I think I broke this multi-claw adaptable. What is it? Oh. That's a Dalek. Oh. Good word. Dalek. Yes, that's it. I'm lucky I wasn't exterminated.
Exterminated? Yes. But yes. Good word. Great.
Wait a minute. Do you mean this is the genesis of the Daleks?
Oh, this is the stuff. Thank you.
No, stop it. No. I was never over here. Never. The timelines of the canon are rupturing. I'm just going to go. And you're not going to say a word. Okay?
No, but you broke the multi-claw adaptable thingy-majig.
Oh, yeah. Right. Hold on.
Never here.
Where were we, Mr. Cassivillian? The splendid design of my secondary.
He's got no idea what this means.
So what was that? What was that guy's name?
Benedict Cumberbatch. or if you want to pronounce Cumberbitch. So, well, for anybody who's just jumping in now, we are talking about who would make a good Doctor Who. And that's what tonight's episode is all about. We are talking about Doctor Who because it probably introduced well, except for Fernando, because he's never seen a bloody episode, so we have to do some work there. But it introduced everybody at a fairly young age to the concepts of all the weird stuff that we love, like time travel,
werewolves,
yeah, weird things,
robots,
yeah, the Cybermen, the Daleks,
the silent angels or whatever it was.
Weeping Angels.
Weeping Angels. There you go.
Weeping Angels. Weeping Angels, considering they're just statues of one of the creepiest bad guys in all of Doctor Who, I reckon. What do you think?
Fun fact, Gary, you type in Doctor Who doctors onto Google, and then it comes up with Doctor Who fictional character, and there's a spinning TARDIS. Just useless information there.
This is where we're going, right? So we've got to try and get Fernando into Doctor Who so he can watch it, because one of the spin-off shows from Doctor Who, apparently there's a new one coming out soon, is Torchwood. And Torchwood you would love as well. That. Yeah.
Sounds like one of those Hells on Wheels kind of television shows.
No. It's funny enough, the lead actor is an American, John Barrowman, I think his name is. And he plays, he actually pops up in quite a few Doctor Who episodes, his character, and that's where the spin-off actually starts. And he lives in Wales. And, you know, I showed you that little episode, part of that little episode with a werewolf. That building was called the Torchwood Manor. And that is where the birth of Torchwood actually begins. So you don't realise that when you watch the episode, but when the actual show comes out. And what it is, it's set in Wales, and he's got a team of investigators, and basically their base is set across a rift in time and space, and flotsam and jetsam and different things, creatures and stuff come through that rift, and they have to take care of them and sort them all out so that it doesn't take over the world. And it's pretty good. There's 4 seasons of it, although there's only 2 real full seasons where each episode is an episode. And then season 3 is the Children of Earth, and then the 4th episode is one where people can't die. Now, the lead character, he can't be killed. You can shoot him, you can cut him up and everything, but he always comes back as himself.
So I'm going to ask a silly question for the Doctor Who fan base.
Yep.
What is Doctor Who?
The Doctor is a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey.
You just spoke gibberish to me.
You wait till Fernando finds out about the Cybermen and the hierarchy.
So is he like an interdimensional being?
Intergalactic.
He's from a planet called Gallifrey, and they were that technologically advanced that they could control time and space. They had these space/time/interdimensional spaceships that were called the TARDIS, which stands for time and relative dimension in space, and they could go anywhere. Now they had this thing called, I think, they have a thing called a perception filter, so that wherever they land, they can disguise the outside of the spaceship so it doesn't stand out wherever it may be. But unfortunately, when he took a trip to 1960s England, he disguised it as a police box, and the perception filter got stuck, so it's a police box wherever it goes now. And that's the TARDIS, which is the spaceship. So it goes through time, it'll go through space, and controls that. Now, what happened? I'm giving you a bit of a rundown on it all. The Time Lords are enemy with the Daleks, which is that other one that we showed you where he invented the Dalek. Yeah, and he put the little plunger in, and so they were the arch enemies of the Time Lords, and they're the ones that ultimately destroyed Gallifrey and all of the Time Lords. He was the only one. Well, there's a few exceptions to the rule, but he's basically one of the last Time Lords to escape.
Oh, wait a minute. That one clip that you showed me said he's the only survivor.
Yes, but you got to remember, this show goes across time, space, and dimensions.
And they can go back 100 million years.
So never say never.
Fernando, how many rooms do you think the TARDIS has inside of it, being that it's smaller on the outside than the inside?
I mean, it's a spaceship, so I would assume it has a lot of cabins.
Well, you have storage rooms, zero rooms.
Never actually see all of them.
No, but there still has been in different episodes they have gone through and shown you. There's the cloister room in the Eye of Harmony. There's a swimming pool, bedrooms, other rooms, wardrobes, and living rooms.
Yep.
So so each, I'm not gonna say season, I can't really say
Seasons, yeah.
So in each season there's a character, a different person playing Doctor Who.
No, each Doctor generally will do 2 or 3 seasons. There's a couple of Doctors like Chris Eccleston who only did 1. I think Chris Eccleston was one of the best Doctors, but he said he only wants to do 1 season because he doesn't want to be typecast as the Doctor, and a lot of people do get typecast as the Doctor, and that's why they only usually do 2 or 3 seasons and they move on. Where I get annoyed with it is there are certain characters in it who pop up in different points. Now, when I say that, what I mean is Gwen Cooper from Torchwood. She appeared in a show that was set back in Shakespearean times on the Doctor, you know. So she's there as 2 different characters. Now, the guy that plays the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, in Torchwood, he played a member of Parliament dealing with the Children of Earth episode. So that's the same guy playing 2, and I can't stand that when that happens. And of course, the big kaboonie at the moment is that the girl that plays Rhodes Tyler, which was the companion of what's his name, David Tennant. She was good in the role. You kind of got to like her character, but she's now come back as the Doctor. I don't like that. I don't like when they do that as different people. Other roles. You know? Yeah, I think they need to keep them separate and things like that.
See, Fernando, and this show has a lot more in common with what we talk about than what you think, because you've even got the Ice Warriors.
There's all sorts.
Well, they're a reptilian humanoid race from the planet Mars.
Illuminati.
And here's the thing, right? And it is Doctor Who related, but it is going off topic a little bit. When I was a kid, I went to the movies to see a Doctor Who movie that came out, right? I can remember it. The Daleks had come to London. They had these soldiers that were all dressed in black that were like humanoid robots that worked for, I'm not talking the Cybermen, but worked for the Daleks. And there was a resistance that the Doctor ended up working with to try and defeat the Daleks, right? I remember all of that. But nowhere on the internet can I find that film. I can find a very early one where the Doctor went to a different planet and the Daleks are there and all of that sort of thing. And that was a standalone film because that Doctor doesn't appear in any of the canon. He's not one of the official Doctors. That was, I think it was Peter Cushing or somebody like that played the Doctor then. So I don't know whether that's a Mandela effect thing, because I definitely remember that happening. So I can't find anything anywhere.
The only one that I can see was a 5th Doctor, and that was Peter Davison with a similar name.
No, I can't stand him. This was long before that. Long before that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you only see before him.
About to say.
Before him was what? William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton,
no, it was
John Pertwee,
Baker.
and Tom Baker. Tom Baker was number 4, yeah.
William Hartnell was the first one. He was the black and white.
Yes, he was. And so was Patrick. He was the second in black and white.
Yeah. And then John Pertwee is where I came into it, because I started watching it very early.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
He's the Doctor Who that I know of, because it was Doctor Who from Channel 2.
Which one, John Pertwee or Tom Baker?
No, John Pertwee. He was a doctor, I'm pretty sure, when huh?
He played Wurzel Gummidge in a TV show as well, John Pertwee.
Well, as a kid growing up, when you'd see Doctor Who off of Channel 2, that was the Doctor that you saw.
Yeah.
It was John Pertwee.
So that's what I watched, and then Tom Baker was the big one that I got into. And then I'm just looking at the guys all there.
Sylvester McCoy, he wasn't too bad.
I didn't like him.
He was very weaselly.
Yeah. When Peter Davidson came in, I hated what they did with the Doctor, and I zoned out. And my friend in England is a grade, absolutely massive Whovian. Okay, he has got everything Doctor Who related. He's way bigger than way bigger into it than me, even though I've got a TARDIS behind me. He hasn't got a TARDIS that size, I can tell you that.
But his is bigger on the inside. Who do you reckon was the better? Who do you reckon was the better Doctor out of Doctor 10 or Doctor 11 or Doctor 12? David Tennant was both of them.
He was, but Christopher Eccleston was my favourite, but he only did the one season.
But that's the thing, though. Like in the likes of David Tennant, where you're saying he played as two Doctors, which one did it better? The first time around, or the second time around? He was the Doctor.
He was the same character in both of them.
I know, but with progression of acting and the way the storylines went, which one was better?
I like the first time he played the Doctor because that's when you first get introduced to him and you start to learn the quirks. Because anybody that watches Doctor Who knows that every Doctor has their own quirks. Mm-hmm. Like Peter Capaldi bored the shit out of me. He wasn't too bad as the Doctor, but he's not got that same level of quirky. He's sort of much more of a downtrodden, downplayed sort of Doctor. You know, he's a bit more broody, I guess, is probably a way of putting it. And yeah, I Christopher Eccleston. Oh, see, when I went back to England in, I can't remember, well, it was in 97, 98, something like that. And then that's when my mate Mark, he actually was showing us something because he's going, oh, it's still going and what have you. And I watched someone, wasn't a fan, but then I saw the Paul McGann. He did the Millennium film, which came out obviously 1999. It was all to do with the crossover to the new millennium, and there was something to do with some fancy clock which could power something, and the bad guys were coming for it. I can't remember all the details about it because I only watched it once a million years ago. And what I liked about that is when I saw his TARDIS, it actually showed you different parts of the TARDIS, and it was total, absolute gothic. Everything about it was really gothic, whereas everybody knows that the TARDIS back in Tom Baker days was just small with those little circles around it, and now obviously with the new generation of Doctors from Chris Eccleston through, you know, David Tennant and Matt Smith and all of those, they've got a much bigger set because they've got bigger budgets to spend on it now. Mm-hmm. But I grew up with the Doctor, and I love them, you know. And this is what I can't understand about how Fernando has not got into the Doctor Who. You know, I think his homework is he's got to watch 50 years worth of the Doctor by this time next week.
But here's the thing, though, Gary. How is it with their Doctors? They've gone with Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor, and then it jumps straight to Christopher Eccleston as the 9th Doctor, but then you've got John Hunt in between, who was the War Doctor.
John Hurt.
Oh, sorry, John Hurt. Sorry, the text was very small.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
He is not a canon Doctor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor... Oh, you haven't watched them all either, have you?
No, I haven't watched them all. I'm 34.
What? Just like that, the camera off doing something weird there. But because if I go like this, all right, you ready?
Yes, it follows you.
You know.
See? And then you go like that, and it zooms out and zooms in.
No, it's broken. Just pause.
Oh, you broke it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
How?
I can't see because I've only got a little square. That sounds wrong.
It's bigger on the inside.
So, since this episode is about Doctor Who, and I am I'm a rookie. I have no
He's
idea.
a Who virgin.
I think I have come up with some trivia questions for you guys.
Virgin. Oh, Gary's gonna win.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who trained River Song to be a time-traveling assassin with a grudge?
Don't know, but she's actually pretty good in it. Not the mark.
Wouldn't it be Madame Kavarian?
He's googling it all.
You didn't hear him? As I spoke, it was like...
Yeah.
I'm not silly. I didn't cheat. I used the tools given to me.
I'm not that big a freaking Whovian, but yeah, you can fire a couple more and we'll see how we go. We'll work out how bad I am at it.
Actually, the answer to this question is The Silence.
Yeah, the Order of the Silence led by Madame Kavarian.
There you go.
Google says so.
Let's see who's smarter, Google or Gary.
All right, Google. Oh, that's a good segment.
Google.
Google or Gary. I like that.
There you go. Which baddie sounds like he should be running for prime minister, but is actually evil?
The Master.
Dunno.
Well, anyway, the Master is like that in one of the episodes, in one of the seasons, yeah.
So I don't know who's
Mr. Saxon?
Yeah, who's Mr. Saxon? I don't know.
God, that's some reasonable questions like, who's the leader of the Daleks?
Who ran a creepy monk Airbnb for a werewolf on the loose?
That was the episode we just shown. That was the Torchwood episode.
Father Angelo.
Freaking hell.
You're smarter than a 5th grader.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you two are in cahoots on this one.
All right, Gary, who made Wibbly Wobbly matrimony stuff official with River Song?
Oh, shit, I don't like her.
The Doctor.
I heard a voice there in the background.
Yeah, me too.
That's probably Gary. So the thing is, you type in one question, it brings up the page of all Fernando's questions he's going to ask, because it's a Doctor Who's enemies trivia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yes.
See, my mate Mark, he would tell you all of those. He would know all of that.
Okay. Yes, he's absolutely right. So let's go to locations. Near what ancient pile of mysterious rocks was the ultimate cosmic prison, the Pandorica, stashed?
Oh, that was Stonehenge.
He got that one right.
See, I thought it was going to be ones like, which gadget looks like a fancy pen, sounds like a spaceship, and can open almost anything.
Oh, the sonic screwdriver.
What Robo-Pup stole hearts, zapped enemies, and could probably beat your Alexa in trivia games?
K9.
Which romantic European city became the show's first foreign filming location?
Venice.
No, the TARDIS didn't fly there.
Was it Venice? It was either Venice or Paris.
Paris. All right.
Which TV presenter keeps crashing into Doctor Who episodes like he's trying to be the next companion?
That bloody guy from, I keep forgetting his name. He does the chase.
Graham
Yeah,
Norton.
I can't remember his name. He
All right.
he comes up in the last episode, in the last couple of episodes where it's the intergalactic song contest thing, like Eurovision Song Contest, but much bigger.
I didn't know this one. Which ghostbusting author joins Doctor and Rose for a spooky Victorian mystery? I'm surprised with this answer.
It's not the Stephen King one, is it?
Charles Dickens.
Huh. Charles
Well, he's
Dickens.
dead, so he didn't pop up in it. Maybe it's his name.
Here's an incarnation.
William Shakespeare comes up in it as well. But that's the one about the witches.
Here's a incarnation trivia question. All right, who played the 10th Doctor? Rocked a pine strip suit,
Gary's got this.
David
pinstripe
Tennant.
suit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
David Tennant.
Yeah.
Which Doctor had crazy eyebrows, mad guitar skills, and a Scottish growl that could silence the Daleks?
That's David Tennant as well, isn't it?
Nope.
He's got a Scottish accent.
Peter Capaldi.
Who wore a Technicolor Dreamcoat and brought chaos and curls to the 6th Doctor?
That would be Tom Baker.
Colin Baker.
Tom Baker wore.
So wait,
Hang on.
are they related?
No.
No, I'm not laughing at that. No. I'm laughing at one of the questions. Which Doctor looked like he belonged in a boy band but had the soul of a Time Lord?
I don't know which way to go with that because a few
Paul
of them will pass off as
McGann.
that.
Paul McGann.
All right.
Who rebooted the series with leather, sarcasm, and a northern
Chris
accent you don't
Eccleston.
mess with? If you got
One of
that
my
one wrong,
favourites.
if you hadn't got that one wrong, I would have shunned you.
He's
All
the
right,
only
all right.
doctor that wore leather. Well, Shooty Gatwa, he's got.
Yes, no, he did. He wore latex.
round under jacket. Huh?
I'm pretty sure he wore latex.
Let's go with gadgets and creatures questions.
Oh God, I didn't realize this was going to be a pick on Gary episode.
It's not. These are easy. You would get. Well, you've already got 4 of those questions correct.
All right, we'll see how we go.
Okay. What's bigger on the ins? Oh no! I'm sorry. Which
Already done.
Robo-Pup stole hearts, zapped enemies, and could probably beat your Alexa in a trivia game?
That's K9.
We've done that one. The sister
Really?
of Plenitude are healers, but why do they look like they should be chasing laser
Oh,
pointers?
hang on. Before we go any further, You know how Dion made me that alien?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting a map to make me a little K9.
Oh, has he got a 3D printer?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Get him to make your cyber mat. That'd be cool.
I want a miniature TARDIS as well.
But seriously, like, in all honesty, Gary, how much scarier did the cyber controllers look in 1967 compared to what they were in 2006? I know you think of the CGI and the budgets that you have now compared to, but I think the earlier ones look scarier.
Well, this is what I was saying before, right? They scared the absolute crap out of you, but like back then they had a budget of £10.50 per episode, so they had to do with what they could do, but times were much simpler back then. There's a whole, I think it's in the David Tennant era, first big cyber attack again, and the Cybermen are back, and they're definitely more modern, but it's still the same, and they've still got that same thing about them. It's just, I don't know if it's because I grew up with all of that kind of thing or not, but you kind of get excited, you know. And it's like when you'll watch an episode and it's all dark at the start, and you're trying to work out who the bad guy is, and then suddenly you hear the dark, I can't even do the voice, but you know, this is the doctor, you know, and it's the Dalek's voice, and you go, now realistically, right, they had little wheels like that, so if you went over a step, they couldn't follow you. But they still scared you back in the old days. But now they can fly and they can do all this weird shit. So they're a bit more. It's like when you watch the original zombie films and they're like,
yeah,
you know, if you go at a brisk walk, he'll outrun the zombies. But then, you know, World War Z and 28 Days Later coming, where they're all parkour level, super fast Olympic zombies and stuff. That then kills it for everybody like me who can't run or jump or anything like that.
For sure.
It's the
I
same
think
with the Doctor. They're stepping it up a bit.
I would argue that they started all this marathon running zombies with Day of the Dead.
Anyway, we're not talking about zombies. Get back to... Although I think there are episodes in The Doctor that talk about zombies.
So, which Doctor brought musical flair and a recorder to intergalactic problem solving?
Oh, that wasn't John Pertwee, was it?
You got one more try. One more chance.
Who had the recorder? I don't know. Which one was it?
Patrick Troughton.
Hang on, which one was he? Oh, he was before I was even born.
Wow.
Hey, I'm not.
It's not very often I get to say that.
I'm not saying nothing about age over here.
Maybe Gary might get this one. Which pop princess took a ride in the TARDIS and played a companion for a Christmas adventure?
Kylie Minogue. That was the Christmas Titanic type episode.
Who supposedly knitted Tom Baker's endless scarf?
I don't
because
know.
even Time Lords need Nane energy. Who supposedly knitted Tom Baker's endless scarf?
I don't know, but that's what he was famous for, that bloody long scarf.
Madame Nostradamus.
See, now you notice all these names that are coming up. You have to start watching the show, man.
I will.
I think he's going to.
I will give it a run. I will give it a run.
I will excuse you watching the earlier ones, but you need to pick it up from Christopher Eccleston.
No, I mean, you got to talk to me about seasons. What season?
Well, he's
I
the
mean,
Doctor,
if Doctor Who has been around since 1969, Jesus, is this the longest episode?
The Doctor Who's older than that.
All right, so
older than Star Trek, and Star Trek came out in 65.
Christopher Eccleston's portrayed the Ninth Doctor during the first season of the revived Doctor Who series, which aired in 2005.
There you go.
So what season should I start it off with?
It just says Doctor Who, the complete first series.
It's season
Doctor Who
1.
Series 1, Christopher Eccleston.
Season 1, 2005. That's what you need to look up.
Gotcha.
Opposed to season 1 being 62, 63.
I will definitely give
because there was a lot of seasons with Christopher Eccleston. I think it was up to 13, series 13.
No, Christopher Eccleston did one season.
Yeah, one season.
Yeah, and then David Tennant came in.
But how many series were in a season?
Oh, how many episodes? Oh, it's like 13 episodes or something like that.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
What jaw-dropping truth does the face of Bo whisper that changes everything.
Oh, that's where he tells you his name, or it gives you a clue as to who he actually is. Yeah, the face of Bo. No one knows who he is. He's just this giant face. And
Just a giant face.
he talks with a really deep voice, very slowly. And he's very wise, and he's supposed to be older than whatever. And it's not until the very end where the face of Bo, sorry, spoiler alert, dies, that you find out his real name. And he's a character that you've seen in the Whovian universe. I'm not going to say any more than that because he appears in more than one of the shows. And he's a character that when you start watching from Christopher Eccleston onwards, you'll know who he is. Well, you'll have seen the character, but you won't work out until that episode where he dies.
I mean, that actually sounds a lot more interesting than the actual answer. But the answer is you are not alone.
So, with Eccleston, he refused to come back because of the dissatisfaction and discomfort with the working environment and because the breakdown of his relationship with the showrunner, producer, and co-producer.
Nah, that's what they're saying. But I saw an interview with him and he actually said it's because he didn't want to be typecast. But then again, he did some other shows like The Leftovers and things like that. He was brilliant in that. He played this like religious dude in that.
He was on True Detective as well.
The first film I ever saw him in was Gone in 60 Seconds. You know the one with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, that's what I can remember.
He played the bad guy in that. The
Yes.
cabinet maker or whatever he's the Undertaker or whatever they called him.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, he was the big bad guy in Gone in 60 Seconds.
That's right, because he was in 28 Days Later as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he played one of the soldiers in 28 Days Later. Mm-hmm. No, it's really good.
No,
But I
definitely
do say you have to watch it from Christopher Eccleston onwards.
Oh, he was in Legend as well.
I will definitely give it a go. I mean, I got
I
a
think
list
you
of stuff
should.
that I gotta watch.
Yep, just add Preacher to that list as well. You'll be right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Preacher, Doctor Who, 2001, 2005,
2005.
season 1.
Season 1, 2005.
Jeez, if you're going like 2002.
I can even tell you the first episode that he's in. It's, mannequins that you see in all the shops.
Okay.
All the mannequins start coming to life and start killing people.
Tell you, man, there's something about the mannequins.
See, if you were watching The Doctor for 2002, it would be Aidan Gillen.
Who?
Just going through.
Like I said, I sort of time skipped from Tom Baker to Chris Eccleston with just flashes of Paul McGann, but the other guys, I sort of skipped a lot of them.
So, your opinion, what is the best episode?
It depends on what you mean by best.
What's your favorite episode?
I couldn't tell you that because there are different episodes. There are different episodes that you like for totally different reasons. And even the new Doctor, there's a couple of episodes with Ncuti Gatwa, which I'll be honest with you, I did not like the writing for any of his stuff. It was too childlike. It was ridiculous. I didn't like the fact that he cried in every episode. I know he was supposed to be the first gay Doctor, but come on, even gay people don't cry.
He was the first.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and I've got no problem with that, but I just don't like the fact that he cried at everything and some of the clothes he wore. While I've got no problem with wearing kilts, but seeing the Doctor wearing a kilt is very weird, and not in the traditional sense as well. But there's a story that happens partway through, which I thought it was really, really, really good and surprised me. There's a couple of Jodies that I liked, but I think what do they call that one? It's one that's set back in the Second World War, and the kids' faces are all inside this gas mask. I can't remember what they call that episode, but that was like that was the Duck's Nuts, that one. That was as creepy as shit.
So I'm just going through this wormhole, to say the least. So one of the most controversial episodes that came out.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi's very first episode triggered much attention on Twitter and 6 complaints to Ofcom for a kiss shared between Madame Vastra and her wife, Jenny Flint. Viewers complained about the blatant gay agenda, but were slightly less bothered that one half of the couple was a space lizard from the dawn of time.
No, she's cool. That character is really cool. She's good.
Wait, which the
lizard lady? Yeah.
I mean, I see a picture of her. She looks I feel
Like
like
a
I've
lizard?
seen her in. What? My God, what's that movie called?
Babylon 5 or something.
I have never seen Babylon 5 either.
I think we have to cut somebody from this show. Sorry, you're in timeout. You're not allowed to come back until you've watched all of Babylon 5 and the movies and all of Doctor Who.
See, there's always been questions about the whole Doctor Who and having homosexuality parts through it, as in, obviously not males kissing or anything like that, but there was always that tie to it. Professor Whittaker considered using Operation Golden Age to meet Oscar Wilde and Noel Coward, two gay icons in the UK. Well, in general.
One of the reasons why they invented the Doctor was, I mean, obviously,
Well, I think it's
but it was to look at social
smart.
agendas and bring them up in a way that it was entertainment and progression rather than just blatant, let's just show something and shock people, if you know what I mean. You know, it did a really good job.
But it's like, you know, little things like in the TV story, the Happiness Patrol, one of the victims of the fondant surprises a man wearing a pink triangle badge, which was the same thing used, you know, in Nazi Germany to identify as a homosexual man, which has been reclaimed by the queer community as well. You know, they had bits and pieces like that throughout the whole thing. Like you said, they're bringing up, you know, different social things to
give you an idea, right? It's one of Shooty Gatwa's episodes. I can't remember. It's like Bubble and Squeak. I can't remember the name of the episode, but what it is, it's on a planet where, as soon as you reach a certain age, everybody has these things and they get plugged in. So wherever they're going, it's like a virtual world around them. So they communicate and everything. They work through this whole thing. What was happening is people were just disappearing, and they didn't know what was going on. But these people couldn't cope with the real world. Quite literally, if they were disconnected, they were in a bad way until their bodies adjusted. But what was happening is there was these aliens that were going around just eating people because they could walk right past somebody and they wouldn't notice. And it shows that the modern people in this day and age, they're so connected to their phones that they're not paying attention to what's happening around them. And if you cut, it's a bit like Ready Player One.
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
When you cut the internet from them, they don't know how to exist. You know, you look at us like when we were kids. Well, when I was a kid, because that was long before you lot. You were out playing on your bike. You would, you know, you come in from school and that, you go out and then you'd be back for dinner and then you'd be out and you wouldn't be back until curfew come on. You know what I mean? Parents didn't know what you were up to. You were out making tree forts and running amok and shit like that, you know. We were coming home covered in dirt and everything. But in this day and age, kids are given a phone or they're given an iPad and everything happens down there on the floor. So it's just, it's showing a little bit of what's happening to the world, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. They've always had their way of that, showing what's going on without being overboard and sort of subtle with a lot of their things.
And that's what the Doctor does. It actually ties a lot of these concepts into their stories, and people are watching the entertainment value. It's not until they think about what actually happened in the show later on, they go, that's what they're referring to. You know, it's pretty good at doing things like that. And that's probably why it's gone on as long as it has. I think with the storylines with Shooty Gatwa and everything, it's obvious it's
become more obvious.
Turn, and I'm very doubtful with this now.
16th Doctor?
Billie Piper becoming the new Doctor when she's already established as Rose Tyler in the canon story. I don't know how they're going to do that unless it's one of those ones where she's in it for an episode and then the regeneration happens to whoever the new Doctor is, because the last we heard was that that dude from One Direction was going to be the next Doctor. Oh God, what's his name? The one Harry Styles.
He would have done a good job.
Well, that's what Lynn said.
I'm not a huge fan of Harry Styles, but he would have done a good job.
And this is where we started the show off. Who would play a good Doctor? And my number one pick is
Jason
Benedict
Statham.
Cumberbatch.
Turn it into an action. Do you know what? That'd be weird. That would be weird seeing him in that sort of.
If you watch Benedict Cumberbatch in Sherlock, you will definitely get a Doctor Who vibe. So that's why I say the Cumberbitch should play the Doctor at some point.
Amazon's Doctor Who reboot cast Harry Styles as first Doctor Who.
Yeah. They're actually redoing the whole story, apparently. That's what I heard.
Can you tell me that name one more time? I have to Google this.
Harry Styles?
No,
it's not really Cumberbitch, it's Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbitch. Have you seen Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to ask you, is that the guy that plays Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't seen, but from the little bits and pieces of Doctor Who that I've been watching from you guys, yeah, I think he'll play a great. I mean, he already has the, basically even the speech for it.
So, when you're saying who would play the best Doctor Who, does it have to be someone alive or someone that has passed?
Well, no, because if we're doing a reboot, it's got to be somebody who's alive at the moment. But
then I don't have an answer.
If you want to throw one in there from past who would have been, well, we're happy to hear it as well.
I think he would have done Doctor Who a huge favour, and it would have become another phenomenal sensation. Robin Williams. He would have made a great Doctor.
Nah, it's too wacky. I know that's.
But how many have been? But how many are that quirky? And you know how quirky Williams can be. And then you've got his sense of humour into it as well. And then he's still got his serious side as well, with like Good Will Hunting and not Patch Adams, but Jack.
Yeah.
He can act seriously.
Now, if you think about the different ways the Doctor goes, right? This could be controversial, but this is just a me thing. And there could be issues with it purely because this guy's been in another massive franchise, actually a couple of different massive franchises, but for a slightly more serious take on the Doctor for a more
think I know who
adult
you're gonna say.
episode, my thinking is Patrick Stewart.
Oh no, that's not how I thought.
I reckon he would be a brilliant Doctor on the more serious side opposed to the more wacky side.
I know someone
he would be
I know someone that could be zany enough and not quite wacky as such, but different. Hugh Laurie.
Yep.
Oh,
he would make an awesome. Like I know he's played a Doctor, but he would play a great Doctor for Doctor Who. Hugh Laurie.
House MD, that television show. It's top three of mine.
I've been watching it again, and he is such a multi-talented person.
Yes.
Do you know when he shot that? He actually turned around and said when he finished on set, he was going home, he would still limp.
Yeah, you would. Well, it's like Garth from Wayne's World, the guy that played Garth. His mouth was stuck that way, and he talked that way after filming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Simon Pegg as a Doctor.
Yeah, that would possibly work. But he's from the Star Trek franchise as well.
I know.
As Mission Impossible.
Well, you wouldn't really throw Sean Connery in there, would you? Now?
No. But Daniel Craig. What do you... Nah, see, you can't go too far afield too many times, and Patrick Stewart's my sort of out there version of the Doctor. I reckon he would be good.
Would there be any females? Would there be any females that you would pick for that role?
Females will play the Doctor. I thought Jodie Whittaker did a good job. Definitely not Rose Tyler. Definitely not Billie Piper. Somebody...
What about Tilda Swinton? She was in Doctor Strange as well. She's got that facial structure as well that'll just...
She played Gabriel in Constantine.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think she was in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, or,
Narnia. Yep. I reckon she'd do okay.
Yeah.
Fernando's like, who is she?
I have no idea. I don't really follow celebrities, but I'm just reading these other questions here, and it's extra hard trivia questions.
They're so hard, Fernando doesn't know the answer, and he's looking at them.
He can't even pronounce the questions by the sound of things.
No, I'm just looking at it, and it's like, wait a minute. Gary knows most of these. For example, an extra hard question would be...
Idris Elba as the Doctor.
That
would be perfect.
Lynn would be totally in on that because she loves Idris Elba.
I have no idea what that is.
What? What?
Have you seen The Dark Tower?
Fernando, I don't know if we can be friends. One of the most iconic black English actors and musicians. And you...
Musicians.
Have you watched Fast and the Furious?
Yeah.
The Hobbs and Shaw or whatever it is.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, the black guy in it. That's Idris Elba. Yeah. He was in.
Wait,
a lot of things. Beast, Luther, the Suicide Squad, the Dark Tower, Hijack.
The Dark Tower was brilliant.
Luther.
Funny enough, in the Dark Tower, that he played the gunslinger, and then you had Matthew McConaughey, who was the big bad guy.
He was in
Abby
American
Lee,
Gangster.
Yeah, Abby Lee, who was the sidekick to Matthew McConaughey in that. She was the one that was in 1% when I was in it. So,
how would Morgan Freeman as the Doctor narrate the whole episode?
that would be cool. That would be cool, but no.
Idris Elba though. That
Idris Elba.
See, you can't make it like. No, I'm not even going to go there.
No, I'm saying like at first I thought I know exactly who this guy is. He's even in the Marvel movies. But when you first said it, I was thinking of a female.
You can't really put Samuel L. Jackson in there as the Doctor because there's way too many F-bombs.
My Time Lord.
I'm a Time Lord, motherfucker.
Hey, don't give Hollywood any ideas because they will be seeing The Rock as Doctor Who one day.
Goes
the Rock.
Can you imagine that goes to
the Doc.
Goes into the creator of the Daleks. English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Jeez.
I did it on purpose. We're already far too long into it to be demonetized. We don't make money anyway.
Demonetized? We got to be monetized before we can be demonetized.
Hey, we're getting there.
Oh, man.
This is a fun one, and we're almost at an hour, and we haven't even bloody really touched the surface on it.
Dude, what if Dick Van Dyke?
You have ruined things for me now because I want Idris Elba as the next bloody Doctor now. He would be sensational.
Dick Van Dyke is a Doctor in his prime.
No.
No?
No.
Gene Wilder?
Reminds me too much of Sylvester McCoy.
Gene Wilder?
Well, pretty much Willy Wonka's very much like the Doctor, isn't he, really?
One that might ruin it for people, Nicolas Cage.
He would, yeah.
I'm like,
He could play the Master, though.
Yes, he could. Yes.
Jason Statham.
Statham.
What
Why did you call him Jason Stratham?
I didn't say strap on.
What about Bryan Cranston, the guy that played
Yes, from Breaking Bad.
Yes.
He could be really good. He could do a good job as well. Yeah. Because he was in Malcolm in the Middle as well. So he can play that wacky side as well as the serious side.
Jeff Goldblum.
Nah.
No?
Nah. This is for me anyway.
Christopher Walken. And as a Doctor. That'd be weird seeing him in that role.
Yeah, I've seen him play a Dark Angel and several other roles, and I like him as an actor.
Vincent Price would have made a great Doctor.
Yeah, he would have been good.
But Idris Elba just tops the charts.
Idris Elba, oh, you arsehole, because that's just, yeah.
See, Harrison Ford could have played a great War Doctor.
Well, he's got a very similar look to John Hurt now, at the age he's at now. See, that was a good episode, that, and that all ties back to Bad Wolf. Now, I know, what the hell's Bad Wolf? Throughout several seasons of Doctor Who, this graffiti of Bad Wolf turns up. I'm talking about different time periods, different planets, and it all ties into the whole William Hurt thing. John Hurt, sorry. You're not going to upset me here, are you? I'm
going to upset Lynn as well. Idris Elba was supposed to be the Doctor instead of Ncuti Gatwa. He turned it down. Was among the actors considered for Doctor Who, and he turned it down. Bill Nighy? No, yeah?
Yeah, that's Keira Knightley's dad.
He was also run alongside Idris Elba. Elba ultimately declined the role, leading into speculation about why he turned it down. Due to the speculation around him being potential Doctor, some fans and media outlets considered him an alternative Doctor.
The thing is, right, I know they're talking about Harry Styles playing, because what they're talking about doing is not a regeneration and a continuation of the thing, of the storyline. They're talking about a complete reinvention of the Doctor from...
Yeah. So the main thing with Idris Elba stated that he doesn't believe that Ncuti Gatwa's race should have been a defining factor in his role as the Doctor, suggesting that his suitability for the role was the primary consideration.
I don't think it was. They've gone through all and this is going to sound racist or sexist or whatever it was.
No, it's not. It's just
out there. It is. Most of all the Doctors were white males. Then they wanted to obviously step it up a little bit and create a little bit of controversy. Obviously, they went through the different styles and the different types of Doctors. Then Jodie Whittaker came into it, and I was like, No, you can't have a. I'll be honest. No, you can't have a Doctor who is female. The Doctor is the Doctor. I don't mind her playing a different Time Lord, but no. But then when I watched her, she really did justice to the job. And then in this new modern age of LGBTQIA, I don't even know what the IA is, but all of those letter
Intelligence is artificial.
like that, is it?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Anyway, that's why they got Ncuti Gatwa in. It was to do with that side of things. It wasn't to do with the fact that he was black. And I'm just saying it as it is. It's not racist.
No. Well, that's what I mean. There was a whole thing with Idris Elba and Ncuti Gatwa, where Ncuti turned around and said, "I don't think." Sorry, he goes earlier this month, and Ncuti 31 claimed he would be bringing his beautiful blackness to the role. Where Idris replied to him, "I don't think the fact that you are black makes any difference at all. It doesn't even need to be mentioned." It's like when he was like when he was linked with the Bond role, he was getting called the first black Bond, when in truth my color had nothing to do with it, if I was suitable for the role or not.
And that was
which is true. Like,
and again, this is another controversial thing. I loved Sean Connery as James Bond, but I think the most realistic and I think the best James Bond was Daniel Craig.
Connery.
Sean Connery is always he's always James Bond, but I think in the modern era, how they're changing things up, I think Daniel Craig was brilliant. But now they're talking about bringing out a female James Bond. No. James Bond is James Bond. He will always be James Bond. I don't care if you bring out 009 or 008 and have a female. But
I get that.
Bond.
Well, that'd be like saying remaking Get Smart and having the roles reversed with the two.
I mean, you look at they came out with G.I. Joe, all those Action Man type shows. Then they came out with that one with Demi Moore, G.I. Jane.
Yeah.
She was an individual character.
Which G.I. Jane and G.I. Joe were two different characters.
That was absolutely brilliant. She did a brilliant job in that film. I love that film. But you can't make her G.I. Joe just because some people go, well, they should have the right to do that. It's a character that's already been established. Create another one who can do all the same stuff and everything like that, but create your new persona, a new character in its own right.
But you'll never beat Pierce Brosnan as 007.
I'm only pissed off at the fact that this will cut that whole gap right out when the edit happens. No.
Pierce Brosnan was amazing.
No.
What about that guy that plays Sheldon?
Sheldon Cooper. He would make a great Doctor.
No, I don't know.
Jim Parsons.
Yes.
He would make a great Doctor. He's just got that zany quirkiness.
Hey,
He's
not
got
for
the
nothing, but
quirky
even...
thing. I don't think he has that command of...
But that'd be good to see that side of him. That'd be awesome to see that side of him.
It would be interesting to see how he played the role, but the Doctor commands a scene when he's in the scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And while he works really well in... I remember Brain Fart on the TV show.
The Big Bang Theory?
Big Bang Theory, the nerdy one, yeah. He was brilliant in that, but I just don't think he can pull off a character like the Doctor. I don't think he's got that kind of presence where I don't know, it could completely surprise us, because obviously a lot of it happens through direction and stuff like that when they put a show together, but I don't know, because he's so whiny,
soft,
his voice and everything, I don't think he has that Doctor quality. Not like the Cumberbatch, not like any of those other guys, you know. The Cumberbatch, he's got the best voice for the Doctor, so long as they don't make him say penguins.
Oh my god. I mean,
I'll show you that video after we finish this recording. I'll show you the Penguins one.
Oh my god. Penguins.
Oh
man.
Apparently, David Tennant was supposedly cited as the fan favorite.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. But just to go back to the Cumberbatch for a bit, when you saw the second Star Wars film come out of the new alternate reality one with Chris Pine and everything, the Cumberbatch plays Khan, and the voice that he did playing Khan, he can take the Doctor to a dark place if he wanted to. But then when you look at him when he plays Sherlock, he's got that quirkiness. I reckon he still. I mean, you've screwed me. You've absolutely with with the Idris Elba thing now, but I still think the Cumberbatch would be an absolutely sensational.
See, well, if you can't have Idris Elba, what about Morris Chestnut?
Who's he?
Have you watched Watson?
Oh, is he the guy? Are you talking about the guy from?
The
guy from The Hobbit and stuff.
I don't know if he's in The Hobbit.
Or hang on, no, he's the guy that played Watson to Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, so this is Watson's a 2025 mystery series.
Yes,
they brought it back.
I haven't
that
watched
guy,
that yet.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I'm pretty sure he also played the brother of Lucifer in the Lucifer series.
Oh, him?
Yeah.
Amenadiel.
No, that's someone completely different as well. That's D.B. Woodside, but he would make a great Doctor Who as well.
Yeah. See, Tom Welling that plays Lucifer.
He's got
the quirkiness to play the Doctor,
and he's got the commanding. He's a bit over commanding.
Yeah, I like that. I love that show.
Yes,
actually, no, he would be a good Doctor as well.
What if you got Mazikeen, the lady that played Mazikeen, to be the Doctor?
I actually thought about that.
Leslie Ann Brandt?
Nah.
I mean, she'll definitely fit the whole, them trying to change things around.
See, when you talk about the Doctor, every time there's a reinvention of the Doctor, they change his personality. And as a result of that, the interior of the TARDIS changes to suit the personality of the new regenerated Doctor.
Well, if it was a lady,
funny enough, they always end up with a brand new bloody sonic screwdriver as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about Ncuti Gatwa's. It always looks like a pen kind of, and they're all cool and they've got little flippy out bits and stuff like that. And then Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor's got this big freaking tortoise shell thing, which just I would like to see a much more serious
Johnny Depp.
No. I know we can play those sort of characters, but all I would see is bloody Captain Jack Sparrow.
Steve Buscemi. That would work.
Make a comedy version of it, depending on the way you want to go, yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have Jack Nicholson, would you?
You can't handle the truth.
Forrest Whitaker?
No.
You're just reading down a list of celebrities.
I'll just look. No, but Steve Buscemi would make a great Doctor. All I'd think of is Crazy Eyes, though.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. No, sorry, my two front runners are Idris Elba and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Right. They're my two leading possibilities, so don't know what happened there, but my camera started flashing red. Let's see what happened there.
I mean, Michael Cera would probably pull it off if it was an American actor.
Who's that? They were talking about actually doing an American version of it at one point.
He was in...
Can't have an American Doctor Who.
Oh, what was he in? Wasn't he in...
Sorry, American people.
Hey, I think what do you guys think of...
What if we cast Fernando as Doctor Who? He'd probably die really quickly because he doesn't... He would die pretty quickly. What's this screwdriver thing?
Yeah. What does this
And then
do?
while he's doing that, the Weeping Angels will come up behind him and clunk him one.
No, but Kevin Hart.
Nah, that would
Jack
ruin
Black.
it.
I'm going down the list of Jumanji.
You would have more luck having Joseph Gordon-Levitt play the Doctor than Kevin Hart.
No idea who you're talking about now.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he played in The Dark Knight.
Is that the one with bloody Edward?
Huh?
No, you're
From
talking about
what's his name? Robert Pattinson.
Wasn't he a Didn't he play Spider-Man as well, Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. It was rumoured at one stage.
It was Tom Holland, it was Tobey Maguire, and the other one that nobody can remember his name.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. From the Peaky Blinders, right?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I don't think he was at Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, he's like the main character. He's the guy that plays Shelby.
The American guy.
He's American, really?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
From the Peaky Blinders.
He was in Star Wars. He was in Snowden, 7500, Chicago 7, Greedy People, Lincoln.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oppenheimer. No, I don't know if you got the right person.
I know the guy he's talking about.
No, I mean, he's definitely the lead. He's Shelby on the Peaky Blinders. He's a good guy.
You're saying he would make a good one. Cillian Murphy.
No, sorry, we can't take any suggestion from Fernando because he doesn't even know who the Doctor is. You know.
I mean, the Doctor
All right,
is
without looking
nobody.
at the screen, what planet does the Doctor come from? We've only mentioned it a handful of times. What is
I can't
it?
pronounce the name. I can't pronounce.
What does it
All I
begin
know
with?
that it F.
No.
So he didn't come from Fernando. I don't play.
Hey, Fernando, what's that big robot called that had a plunger for an arm?
Man, you guys, I just C-3PO.
What's the Doctor's last name?
Who?
The Doctor.
Nobody knows the Doctor's last name.
Who?
What's the name? What's the name of his spaceship?
TARDIS.
Oh, he's looking at it. Look.
TARDIS, not tortoise. TARDIS.
Correct.
Oh, I wonder.
Not for nothing, but this should have been alive for how long this video is going to be.
No,
We're an hour and 6 minutes.
see, where is the Doctor's grave located?
Oh, he dead?
Oh, yeah. I can't tell you the name of the place, but I can picture it, and I can. It's the big one on top of the
it's
hill.
one of 4: Earth, Trenzalore, Oodsphere, or Lost Moon of the Poosh.
I didn't know the Doctor died, or that he can die.
It's the second one.
The second Doctor dies.
No, I'm talking about the second place.
Trenzalore.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was looking for. I typed into Google Doctor Who beginner trivia.
Because there is an episode with, and River Song does appear in that one, where they see this it's where the TARDIS dies as well, and that's really sad when you see the TARDIS die. It's a blue box. It has a personality,
A blue box.
but that's the last place of the Doctor.
But the blue box. You're talking about it dies.
TARDIS. Yeah, you have to watch it, man. You have to start watching it. I think we will finish this episode in a sec, and we will run you through a couple of little bits and pieces.
I mean, I'm saying like it's a vehicle. How does it? I mean, I can understand that it's like.
How dare
It's
you?
not a
the
vehicle.
batteries could die.
It is not a vehicle.
No.
So
The
it's a
TARDIS is
sentient
an
being.
entire character in its own right. Thank you very much.
It is a spacecraft. It is a fictional hybrid of a time machine and a spacecraft.
So it's a vehicle.
No.
So how does it die?
No. Time and relative dimensions in space.
Look, I understand that some people might get sentimental
Gary,
feelings.
does
towards,
that
my
TARDIS door lock,
2008
Gary?
Camry is so dear to me.
I'm hearing a weird noise. I don't know what that noise is, but
I'm pretty sure the TARDIS door's locked, so we might be able to leave him in there.
yeah.
I mean, I'm saying like, does it have a heartbeat?
Yes.
Watch it, my lord.
Aha. A vehicle is anything used for transporting people or goods, especially on land, such as a car, lorry, or cart. It doesn't say TARDIS.
Sorry, you guys. I'm floored. I'm good. Thank you for making me understand.
Well, we're going to go in a sec because we're gonna run him through some Whovian lore, and we're going to try and convert him. And if not, he's not coming back on the show until he does.
Crap. Gary, you type into Wikipedia, is the TARDIS a vehicle? In the fictional universe of Doctor Who television shows, TARDISes are space and time travel vehicles of the Lords and alien species from the planet Gallifrey.
Oh,
Nah.
wait. So it's a vehicle species?
Species.
I mean, okay.
No. TARDIS is not a vehicle. A TARDIS
It's no
is
ordinary spaceship.
no.
We
no.
might have hit.
And the
a
beauty
bone.
about it is nobody really knows what an actual TARDIS looks like when its perception filter is turned off.
Well, at some stage, it looked like a house.
Many other things, a giant rock, a giant turd, possibly, but I don't know how you'd climb out of a turd, but unless it was a giant dino poop.
I just pictured Jim Carrey coming out of the ass of the rhino.
And that is true. It can't be a vehicle because it's also a Type 40 capsule.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go.
And it does have a heart, and you're not supposed to look into the heart of the TARDIS.
It's
So it has a
technically a viable weapon.
Yeah.
So it has a heart.
Looking into the heart of the TARDIS is like looking into the time
The soul of
matrix
God.
itself. The time matrix itself. You can't conceptualize what you're looking at
Do you know the reason, Gary, why it is stuck as a police box?
because the perception filter got jammed.
The chameleon circuit got blew
Yeah, the chameleon circuit. Yeah.
in 63.
I learned that today. Man.
Perception filter or the chameleon circuit.
Yeah, same thing.
And do you know that the Doctor has psychic paper as well?
In what episode was the TARDIS red?
None that I can remember. But you do get red phone boxes in England, so...
You do?
Oh, you did? I don't know if you do now.
But no, the TARDIS has never been red.
I was going to say, I don't remember that one.
While it might have appeared grey in black and white episodes, it was always painted blue.
What a trick question.
It is, but that's a good question though. Like, when was it red?
What a trick question. Could you imagine? A true Doctor Who fan would be like, never.
Are you saying I'm not a true Doctor Who fan, Mister?
Are you saying Gary is not a Whovian?
I am Whovian. I may not be a black belt Whovian. I may be a lower level Whovian, but I am still a Whovian. Thank you very much. Why are you laughing? It is a genuine, real term. Google Whovian and see what you get.
It's Gary's face.
Google the Cumber bitch and see what you get. Actually, I wouldn't put the two of them in one sentence.
I will Google comma bitch, not in public.
I wouldn't do it on your work computer either.
Oh, God. That's funny. That's wild.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the TARDIS has been one other colour for one episode.
It's had dirt on it and paint thrown on it and stuff like that, but I don't remember it ever being a different colour.
The pink TARDIS.
That just sounds wrong.
Or was it a paint?
That can't be from that must be from like a pornographic version of Doctor Who.
No, painting the TARDIS pink, the Happiness Patrol, Doctor Who.
Man, for a second, I had it by my tongue.
Anyway, now that we're talking about the pink TARDIS, it's time to go.
Apparently it was linked to fascism and totalitarianism.
Yeah, well, that's probably why I didn't get into that one. Anyway, that's it. I think it's time for us to knock out. We're approaching an hour and a half. So I hope you learned a little bit about the Doctor, and I think we should start a petition up to have Idris Elba play the Doctor or the Cumber bitch play the Doctor. And
what if they had two Doctors at once?
Have you ever seen the 5 Doctors?
You could have
one where you could
have Doctor Who Inception.
There was oh shit, which one was it? It was one of the new ones where it was before what's his tits. But I think it was one of the last ones of who was it? I can't remember which actual time stream it was in, but they actually had to try and save Gallifrey from the Daleks, or every incarnation of the Doctor was there. Even the John Hurt version of the Doctor was there. And all of the different TARDISes were spinning around, and they actually took the Gallifrey out of time and space and locked it in its own pocket universe so that it could be saved, even though the Doctor could never, ever again get home. And he's going, look at him, look on his face, he's going like, what the hell is he just talked about? And in that, you see all of the Doctors, even William Hartnell, the first Doctor, spinning around Gallifrey, trying to save it, using all the different the power of all the different TARDISes combined.
I'm glad you corrected that, because I thought you were going to use the power of all the TARDs combined.
The what?
The power of all the TARDs combined.
TARDISes.
Oh my God.
TARDs.
Anyway, on that,
let's go.
It's time for us to disappear.
You see, like if we would have been doing this whole episode the old school way, I'm pretty sure you could have found a cool editing video.
I'm sure he will.
All...
Just have the TARDIS spinning at the screen.
Ye of little faith.
Gary, you're talking about Doctor Who. He's gonna be adding all sorts of things into this with the TARDIS, and
he's going to. I pull my sonic screwdriver out and see what I can do.
It's in his top drawer next to the water-based lube.
Don't tell everybody.
It goes supersonic cleaning.
Oh my God,
that's getting cut.
One. Man.
All right, we need to go.
Oh, look, there's Max.
Hello, Max. Getting tired, I think.
Yep, time to go. All right, take it easy, people. And sorry this whole episode, but we love Doctor Who. Well, except for Fernando, he's just something wrong with him. But we'll have to get him watching it.
We'll have to get him on the Spaceballs as well.
That is a good film.
I've seen that one.
No, sorry, don't listen to anything you say now because you don't watch Doctor Who.
Spaceballs, yeah.
All right, take it easy, guys.